Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. My name is Rachel Bray, and I'm the CERN Alumni Community Manager, and I'm delighted to be here today with Stephen Goldfarb, who is a physicist from the University of Melbourne, working on the ATLAS experiment on the Large Hadron Collider at CERN. Now, Steve also coordinates the undergraduate programs for the University of Michigan at CERN, and is currently chair of the International Particle Physics Outreach Group, which is also known as IPPOG. So, hi, Steve. It's great to see you today. I was wondering, could you tell us a bit about IPPOG, please?
Sure, Rachel. It's a pleasure to see you, even if we can't be together. And it's great to be here. Although I've been here for 3 months, like everybody else, right here. Let me tell you a little bit about IPPOG. IPPOG is the International Particle Physics Outreach Group. We're a group of scientists, science educators, communicators who've gotten together around the globe to work on education, informal education, I should say, and public engagement. The IPPOG collaboration now is made up of 33 different members. It's growing, though. We have 26 countries, 6 experiments in CERN, but there's several other countries just waiting to sign up. We're best known for the International Particle Physics Masterclass and Global Cosmics programs.
Okay, so I imagine that physicists, they generally have a great deal of work. So why should they also be involved in education and outreach?
Well, I think, first of all physicists are to some extent. You always try to explain your work because we love what we're doing. But in addition, it's a moral obligation. I mean, look at the whole point of doing science is to look at the world around us, try to understand it, and then to explain to the rest of society what we've learned. That's what science is. If you don't explain it, it's not science. This, is part of our DNA. It's how we provide tools for future generations. The public, in addition, is paying for this out of their hard-earned salaries by paying taxes, and so they have a right to know how their resources are being used. But finally, most important, it's fun, and it makes us better scientists by helping us keep track of the big picture. Where does our work fit into the big picture? And if you can't explain that to someone, then you don't really understand it. So it's really, really good for us to do.
That's like that famous Einstein quote, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. He wasn't so dumb.
No. So, okay, we're facing, you mentioned you've been in the same place for your home for the past 3 months because of this global pandemic. Now, this is a challenge that we're all facing. Steve, what are the other challenges that we face?
So those of us going out into the world to do public engagement, to talk about our work, we face some big challenges because people have these really, really important distractions. One, we're trying to keep our planet from being completely inhabitable. 2, we're trying to keep our species alive because in the middle of a global pandemic. And finally, we're going to be trying to save our economy from collapse because of this pandemic. If you tell everybody to stay inside, well, then economies have problems with that. And the other challenge is that there are very important public figures that are trying to sow mistrust in science. And some of these figures have very important positions. And in addition, maybe it's our own fault, the communication platforms that they're using are very far reaching. Perhaps our discovery and our invention of the World Wide Web is helping to contribute to that. But mostly it's due to ignorance. And it's something that I think that we can address.
Also, I guess that some of these leaders are guilty of short-termism because I think, scientific projects generally, they are long-term, long duration.
Sure. I mean, they have various political or financial agenda. And of course, we kind of force them to think short-term for elections. But I think what's important is that this is the background. And in that background, we're going to come to them with the conclusions of the European Particle Physics Strategy Update, which we spent a long time thinking about, which says that in order for us to go forward, we need to build these very large projects. They're going to be long-term and very large international collaborations. They are going to have very big price tags, and that's going to be something difficult to sell to the public.
Yeah. So here at ICHEP 2020, what have you been doing to address these challenges?
Well, in the past 4 days of parallel sessions, which were fantastic, we saw a huge variety of different innovative and effective methods to reach out to the public. This included games, virtual reality, visualization tools, traveling exhibits, art and music festivals, and most importantly, cookies and cakes.
Yeah, great.
We're doing everything possible. In addition, the sort of standard tools that we're all using, such as international master classes and global cosmics, are growing in scope and in reach.
And I understand that this evening, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central European Summertime, you are hosting the Universal Science event. Would you like to tell us a bit more about that, please?
That's right. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's very interesting because we're going to try to address a lot of these things that we've been discussing here. The messages we want to get out to the public are straightforward. One, fundamental research is essential for humanity. Okay, it's going to provide the knowledge and tools for future generations. You cannot just focus on current issues. You have to have fundamental research. In addition, we need international collaboration to solve these enormous problems. That's something that we can share our experiences with that. We still have work to do there, but we have learned that international collaboration is a great thing and makes us stronger. Finally, we need to invest in fundamental research in order to bring back our economies in a sustainable manner.
Great. So that's this evening. People can ask their questions already because I believe there'll be a panel discussion. Is that right?
That's right. So this comes at the end of a long day of wonderful public program that starts at 2 o'clock already. So there's the Big Bang stage. A lot of fantastic activities are going to be going on at the Big Bang stage. You're going to have an underground visit to Atlas, as well as learning about the physics of beer and the Internet of Wild Things, and you're going to hear from an astronaut. And at the end of the day, Universal Science, if you want to ask your questions, you can do it now by going to universalscience.web.cern.ch. Ask your questions. You can also find out the links there, and you can find all of these links also on the ICHEP pages, the public areas. And I should also mention that Thursday evening, this will continue with Kaleidoscope music.
Sounds great. I can't wait. And I look forward to seeing you, Steve, already from 2 o'clock this afternoon. Thank you so much, Steve. It's been great talking to you, and good luck with your Universal Science event.
Thank you, Rachel. We look forward to seeing everybody there.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.